Hello. This is the second assignment of two that asks you to do a review of an academic article. It's an article that I prepared with Anthony Pennington Cross with data and a contract arrangement that we had obtained from Fannie Mae through an organization known as the Homer Hoyt Institute. It's an institute dedicated towards understanding and academic research in the real estate markets. In this particular case, what we did was we explored the portfolio of small, what they call small, multifamily loans that are held by Fannie Mae. And what we asked was, are there factors that we can observe that influence early termination or default in multifamily loans in and around the end of the prepayment penalties that we've discussed in this material on the secondary mortgage market? I'm going to read the abstract with you just to kind of give you a setup, okay? It says, this article uses micro-level data on small multifamily loans in the Fannie Mae loan portfolio. So they have a truncation for max level, which you'll see when you read the material. So in other words, a certain value for the loan. And we're going to examine this portfolio for prepayment default performance. Based on our analysis, the results indicate the importance of equity as measured by the loan-to-value ratio, which is basically saying, so how much skin the investor has in the game, and the contemporaneous property operating income relative to debt service obligations. And so what made this particular paper unique and what allowed us to get it published, among other things, was the fact that we had operating income for the data on each of these properties over time. Owners and investors were required by Fannie Mae to submit annual records of operating performance as part of the loan agreement. The results indicate that the expiration of prepayment penalties and yield maintenance provisions lead to large spikes in both prepayment and default. The results also illustrate that multifamily loans, as they are not fully amortized, also have a substantial risk of both extension and default at term. And what does that mean? So what that means is when the loan comes due, now keep in mind, even on an amortizing loan in the commercial space, it's going to have a term and it's going to have a balloon date. That balloon or call date will be that 5, 7, 10, 12-year call period when the loan's clearly not fully amortized and the borrower has to either pay the loan off by selling or refinancing the note. In the event that they wish to refinance, if the terms of borrowing have changed, such as interest rates, let's say they've gone up, or now they can only get a loan for 20 years instead of 25 years, it can possibly increase their debt service, which would lower their debt service coverage ratio, which may make them incapable of actually obtaining a loan. And under those circumstances, let's say you're in the financial crisis, if you can't sell the place and you can't get a loan, what are your options? Well, the lender may work out the loan for you, which means they extend it a bit to try to keep it from going into default, which is the other option that you have, defaulting on the loan. And that's what's going on in that observation. When the balloon payment comes due, we're seeing spikes in both prepayment and default. Prepayment because they're selling, and default because they can't get refinancing and nobody wants to buy the place for the price they're asking. Further, since we had that operating information, we observe the operating information relative to the loan performance and find out that they're more successful at terminating the loan at the appropriate time when they're operating more efficiently with higher cash reserves. So you're asked to handle this article in a similar fashion to the first one. Read it critically. Challenge yourself to understand what's going on there. And challenge the author's conclusions. Do they make sense to you? Could it be something else is going on that's not observed? Are you buying what we are selling? And if you're not, why? And what's missing? Think about those and other things as you read this article and critically analyze the results and the conclusions. And as I always say, if you have any questions or you get hung up on something, don't hesitate to reach out to me. Good luck. Till next time.